Hello everyone. Today is Thursday, May 5th, 2022 at 6:19 a.m. in the morning. So they sleep deprived me another night, and I got almost no sleep last night. I got very little sleep, and my face is burning. It's painfully burning from yesterday. I got some errands to run today and I don't feel like doing it, you know. So, another night of sleep deprivation. I said those perp bastards better not sleep deprive me another night, but they did anyway. This is torture. So, I've been having something that's been bothering me, and, I don't even know where to start, but okay, so the guy who hung up in my face and blocked me earlier this year, you know, this past Friday, I like it seemed like as if he wanted to deal with me like from a long handed spoon or something, a long stick spoon or something. And um so then it's like I was wondering why was he, acting a certain kind of weird, because it seemed like as if like, wow, you hung up in my face for no reason and stuff. So um Friday, you know I I asked, I just told him, about because he went back talking to me again, but from a distance though, and minimally. And I feel like, well, what kind of friendship is that? I don't want to be like, I feel like if you gotta be from now on being limited with me, or with dealing with me and stuff, I feel like, well, I would rather not talk at all. But um so he got on the phone. He asked me, can you talk? And I said, well, yeah. And so then we talked on the phone for the first time since he hung up in my face. And so everything was nice and normal. But one of the first, on the phone, and you know, but then one of the first things, I asked question and confronted him in a not in a non-argumentative way. I calmly asked him, what is it that I did to upset you, that you hung up in my face and stuff like that. And so that's when he just, how somebody said, oh, I just let you have it, meaning that just took the opportunity to, in New Orleans, I guess they would say, running your shit, more like, go off on you really bad. Like, just took the opportunity to just go off, like a total mood or personality switch. He was all calm and normal until I asked him. And now they got all these distractions. Oh, that's the dirty buses. So, I think that's the dirty buses. But, so he started to bully, harass, and lecture me, telling me that I would be the first person. He tried to say, well, see what you would, he tried to say that the reason why he hung up in my face. He tried to falsely accuse me. He told me, oh, well, you said a lot of things that triggered me, and I thought you were perping me. And it's like, well, I thought you would have known me better than that. I expose my targeting daily, every day. And so it seemed like as if, I got I mean, cause I hung up in. I'm sorry, I didn't hang up in his face. I meant to say, after he lectured me for 4 hours last year, and acting like he was disgusted and frustrated with me and stuff, and he wasn't even straightforward with me. It's like he waited till like we had been talking on the phone off and on for um about 18 months, but we went a long time without talking because he acted like he was disgusted and frustrated with me last year, and then he lectured me for 4 hours, at least 4 hours, like 4 or 5 hours. And so I didn't hang up in his face, but last year, I blocked his number because I'm like, well, you seem like you're disgusted, frustrated, and sick and tired of me. And so, I'm sitting here wondering who's the shady one here. And I'm questioning if he's actually a covert narcissist, like a covert narc, or is he a compromised perp? Did they compromise him and turn him away from me? Some people say that he been a perp and then just swooped in and pretended like is it. But I thought it looked like he was being heavily targeted, and I know damn well I'm heavily targeted. So, um, y'all remember I told y'all, and I told him several times, I don't like people younger than me trying to tell me what to do, and I don't like people younger than me trying to lecture me or try to tell me off about myself or try to put me in my place or try to discipline and handle me. And that's exactly what he did Friday. Like, he didn't even care. And so he is totally different from when he started talking on the phone with me. And I feel like I got to get my feelings out, because it's like he also was big on trying to tell me off about myself with, talking about me throwing people under the bus and stuff like that. But if you betray me or turn against anybody, if y'all betray me or turn against me, or, I just tell what y'all did to me. I don't tell y'all people's personal business that doesn't pertain to me or that doesn't have anything to do with me, And then he confronted me about the video that I did about him and another fake target, I'm not saying he's fake, but the other girl, she definitely turned out to be fake. So, I'm still bothered by the way he treated me this past Friday, and other people have said that it sounds like they say it sounds like he's a compromised perp, or they say it sounds like it sounded like he was a perp that became targeted, after disobeying or trying to break free or something. I don't know, but I thought it was me who just thought that, he act like he think he's bigger, better, and higher than God, or act like he think he has a God complex, and he acts like as if he wants, everybody to walk around afraid of him. And he's younger than me, a nice bit younger than me, 8 years younger than me. So, he has a temper and get hostile, and stuff like that. And so, like Friday, when I confronted him about hanging up in my face just randomly like that, and he's like, "Yeah, I did," like bragging about it, and I'm proud of it. And so he falsely accused me of triggering and perping him and trying to make money off of him. And saying, well, you wanted me to come down over there by you, and he's like, all I need to say is 2 words, and somebody makes money off of me or something like that. And it's like, well, you suggested that you wanted to come and see the beach and stuff like that. You like the beach out here and stuff like that, but but I thought you wanted to come and visit me or come and see me. I wasn't trying to lure you or do anything bad. And so he didn't really much tell me what I did or said that triggers him. And so he tried to bully, harass, and lecture me and try to talk about, see, is that what all that what you're talking about, being scared, always being scared and stuff? You'll be the first to sell out at the right price. You know, he's talking about you're talking about you always scared and scared of this and scared of that. You'll be the first to sell out at the right price. If some like so, I mean, it's like I told y'all I've been like resisting all these offers and stuff like that, you know. And so another thing that bothered me, well, he tried to tell me off about myself in the same way foster or biological family members say, like he tried to say that I was like smothering him, and you know, he tried to say he acted like he couldn't have leg room or arm room. I'm like, wow, smothering you, because I mean, he seemed like aggressive, vicious, aggressive, and bossy sometimes. You know, so one time he's like, well, damn, well, do you think that everybody's a narcissistic, control freak, fake friend? He's like, well, I hope you don't feel that way about me. But you know, him trying to tell me off about myself, it's like, well, you got the same opinions about me as the rest of the my family members. And he tried to say, well, no, it's just my own opinion. It's not me getting anything from them. But another thing that bothered me is like when me and my twin sister were feuding back, I mean, like about a year and a half ago. And he swooped in and started to offer support and talking to me every day. Then after a while, something bad happened to him. And then he was still nice a little bit later on. And then afterwards, he started to pull away from me. And like, even as of November and December last year, he would be like, oh, well, I'm just a bad communicator, so just forgive me and stuff like that. Well, he told me that Friday, oh, forgive me for being a bad communicator. So like he would tell me, oh, the reason why I pull away from you sometimes, it's like, it's not you. It's like, it's not you. I just feel down sometimes, or I just feel like I need some time to myself sometimes, or whatever. So I quit calling him, and I just like, well, if you want to talk, I'll just wait till you're ready to talk. So yeah, he said, like, a while back, like, he said, oh, do you think everybody's a narcissistic, control freak, fake friend? I hope you don't feel that way about me. You know, but yeah, telling me like it was last November, and it's like I was talking about, you know, hopefully working my way up to a car or something, and he's like, well, I was hoping you would take that money and use it to buy your own. No, he said, I was hoping you would use that money and get you a permanent place. And it's like, who the fuck are you? I didn't ask him that, but I'm thinking to myself, who the fuck are you? But he hurried up and got off the phone and acting like, and I was feeling emotionally shaken by him saying that. Like, you know, that's telling me what to do. That's bossing me around. And then this is the same guy that later on, he's like a month and a half later, he told me that, oh, God doesn't want you driving, or God doesn't want you with a car. And if he did, he would have been blessed you with a car a long time ago. And then like a few minutes later, he was saying, well, if I end up on the streets and it's winter and it's cold, then I'm going to get me a car. And I'm like, what a doggone hypocrite. What make you think you so special? But he's like definitely a religious narc with a God complex. And, you know, if he act like he delusionally believes he's bigger, better, and higher than God, and I feel ashamed to feel like, as if I had like Stockholm syndrome and feeling like emotionally attached, and felt like as if he had me manipulated the friendship and had me trauma bonded. But I was devastated for him to just let me have it and just told me off about took advantage of the opportunity to tell me off about myself And it's like, well, I thought you were different from the rest, you know. And so he confronted me about a video of, videos that I did talking about him last year after, I didn't, like, because I'm sitting here, like, defenseless and scared to argue back. And it seemed like as if he put me in a psychological and mental corner and had me, like, defenseless and scared to, and it's like, I didn't realize until hours after I got off the phone, I felt like, I felt like as if I couldn't believe that that I was blinded to him getting away with talking to me like that. And I'm like, well, why didn't I stand up to him and tell him, look, don't be yelling at me or something like that, And he definitely raised his voice at me, and I'm sick of the abuse and doggone lectures. But he tried to make it like as if I threw him under the bus and said things about him that cut really deep. And so I confronted him about that video, the video of him calling me an infection, and said all these things that it seemed like as if my narcissistic foster and biological family said about me, talking about me playing a victim and stuff like that after he pulled away from me. And so I confronted him about that video Friday, and so it's like he like got defensive and hostile and belligerent when I confronted him. I said, yes, that video was about me. He's like, no, the video was not about you. It was not about you. And so I'm like, yeah, whatever, But it's like, what did I do that, that you pulled away from me for no reason at all? It's like you turned against me. And, he waited till after 18 months to tell me that he didn't trust me and that he thought I was perping him the whole time. But he didn't, he said some things that I felt was triggering, like, about the driving issue or certain other things. So, and I felt triggered by that, and so it's like, I felt like, well, I didn't have anybody else to talk to, and everybody else had turned against me because, the lies, false rumors, and smear campaigns about me being the troublemaking perp in the TI community. Which is, it really makes me feel so bad, And so when I confronted him about that video that he did about me, and he said, well, he kept on denying and lying and saying that video wasn't about me. Well, why does it, I asked him, well, why did it coincide with you pulling away from me then? And he acted like he could, I don't even remember what his response was. So he's like, well, he tried to avoid it's like he indirectly admitted it, that it was about me by saying, well, the difference between me and you is you mentioned my name in one of your videos. And he said, at least I didn't mention your name. But then he kept on lying and saying that the video wasn't directed at me. Because when I saw the video and he uploaded it, it was like January of 2021. And I called him up crying and confronted him about, because he pulled away from talking to me for a couple of weeks. And I was like, well, what did I do? He didn't even yet block me or nothing. But it seemed like as if, because when the situation that bad happened to him, like I was the last one he got off the phone with, and he said that he thought that I was perping him because I felt something, like, because they were trying to run over me. I always talk about, how them trying to run over me and stuff like that, with their cars and stuff. So, I just had a bad feeling about myself, and was scared felt like I just felt it in my spirit, like I just felt afraid of myself going out to pay bills and stuff. And go to my storage unit and stuff, and I would have to I used to have to, take the bus and walk everywhere. And so then 20 minutes later, after we got off the phone, he called me up saying, that he, whatever, And I was like, shocked and stuff like that. And so also, it's like later on he told me that you're the only one who he told me I was the only one who acted like I cared. And I did care, and I had also, ordered him a few things online to help him heal from what happened to him. And so for him, I mean, I'm devastated and hurt that he waited all this time. I mean, because see, you know, when we got back to talking back in like late October of last year, I confronted him, you know, and he said, "Oh, well, all I know is that was blocked." And then he was like, made it like it was no deal, no big deal, and everything was all fine, and we didn't even get to talk out, what was going on. So, it seemed like he acted like as if he think he can issue out punishments towards people, and use God to think he can issue out punishments and chastisements on people. And I would have like heavy, unwanted, intrusive thoughts about him when he would turn against me or act mean or abusive or yell at me. And I just got tired of being tormented and, with the unwanted, intrusive thoughts. But that's like with any and everybody I have a problem with, you know, or anybody I'm feeling anxiety about or feeling angry with and stuff like that. But he made it like it was no big deal. All I know is I was blocked. And now it seemed like as if he brought everything to the forefront, and he tried to say, well, it was long overdue, and oh, I'm sorry I didn't, say this or that, or I'm just a poor communicator and stuff like that. So even last year he was saying that, oh, the reason why I pulled away from you, oh, it's not you that's the problem. But now come to find out it is me that he had an issue with. So he didn't even let me know or tell me, that he thought that I was triggering him. But he tried to say, well, oh, everything I say bothers you, and I feel smart, like I can't tell you nothing. And so then he's like, and then he said, well, he said, oh, I understand about your sensitive ears, and you don't want nobody eating food in your ear and stuff like that, or something like that, he said. And so he's like, well, you're being that hypersensitive that everything that bothers you, and then and I don't know if you're doing that purposefully or what. And so felt like as if I was like as if I was dealing with an abusive relationship or an abusive boyfriend rather than a friend. And so it felt like as if I was dealing with an abusive boyfriend rather than a friend, because like Friday's conversation, it seemed like as if that was my boyfriend and we broke up and then tried to reconcile the relationship and then just talking things out, and it seemed like as if I was dealing with an abusive boyfriend, And another thing that shocked me what he did was, he told me in the beginning of the friendship to not go look on my twin sister's page, that I shouldn't go look on her page, at her videos about me and stuff. And then this online perp, fake TI perp, this online fake TI perp had came and got another channel just to harass me. And I told the guy about it, and so then he yelled at me and didn't allow me to explain myself. And I said I was trying to explain that he created another channel just to come and harass me. I didn't go look back on that page. But then what this guy told me Friday, because I'm not allowed to throw nobody under the bus or name names of abusive people. But he probably was the one perping me, or the perp and using projection. Because he told me, like, I think it was January of last year, he tried to say, because I even think I took a deal, trying to make it like as if him trying to gather a lawsuit together is like taking a deal. And I'm like, and I don't know. So it's like, well, I wouldn't have even thought that he would have sold out or anything like that. But he tries to talk about repentance and all the time, and making it like as if he's strong enough that he's like as if he's invincible, like they can never get him. But it seems like as if people took advantage of using that against me of when I showed people about the perps trying to get me to sell out, and I never sold out, and I'm still being heavily targeted. I got footage as recent as yesterday. So if I go out, I would have footage as recent as today, of being heavily targeted. And I don't perp anybody. I never accepted any deals or bribes or nothing like that. So, I don't even know if he's the narcissistic perp, the covert narcissistic perp that's using projection. You hear the door slamming. So, so then, what else was I gonna say? So the thing about my twin sister is like, he recently confessed to me. Well, he told me last year, like around October or November, he said that, excuse me, sorry about that. So he was saying that he said that he does that's so distracting. He was saying that he did, when we weren't talking, he said that he would look at, me and my twin sister's videos, and try to say that he just wanted to make sure we were okay. But then this past Friday, he confessed to me that he did used to, like as if he admitted that he snuck behind my back and was watching my twin sister's videos. And he tried to say that his opinions about me were his own and not something she said. And so then he's like, yeah, because in the beginning he was saying, yeah, your twin sister, he was showing me, like, and I was like, well, why he tell me don't look on her page? But he was looking at her page and showing me the hand signs she was using and stuff like that. And so then, Friday he was like, well, yeah, I was looking on your twin sister's page. Yeah, I was watching her videos. And he said, well, yeah, I was watching her videos and stuff like that. And so he said, because there are two sides to a story. And he said, and I have that right to go and look at her videos or something like that. So that's a narcissistic double standard. How you gonna tell you a stranger and you gonna tell me that about my own family? That I can't look at my own twin sister's videos about me, but here you go behind my back and you tell me that you have that right to go and look at her videos and then try to say, oh, there were two sides to a story. Well, you were the one telling me that she's an Eastern Star and showing me the hand signs and stuff like that. But then, on the other hand, another time you wanted to tell me that you were hoping that we would reconcile. And it's like, well, if she's a perp, how am I going to reconcile with anybody that's a perp? I felt like that would be pretty hard to do. That would ensure that we would never get along and always be arguing, fussing, and fighting. But he make it like as if I'm not allowed to mention his name or anything. He's like, because you wouldn't want me to do a video about you. Because... So, I mean, it's like, he act like as if he's just angry with the world and want to discipline and punish everybody because of what happened to him. And I had nothing to do with what happened to him. I mean, stuff like that, it nearly happened to me numerous times. And that's one of the reasons why I stay in here and don't go take walks. So, I hate it. I mean, the fact that he even felt like if I say I had the same experience as him that same day or whatever, or if I say I had a similar experience, then they say, oh, you perping me. Well, I didn't even realize you were the type to feel that way. It seemed like he's been hiding his feelings about me all this time and then just let it out. So I don't know why if he tried to make it like as if I was deliberately and on purpose playing with people's mind with acting like as if nearly everything people say bothers me or reminds them of my abusers growing up. But I thought we both were able to identify with, being abused and stuff like that. But they always brag about how they had it worse than people. Always brag about how you should shut up about your problems because that they always had it worse than you. But he walks around with this arrogance and hostility and this God complex. And it's like today I'm breaking my silence. But I'm forbidden to mention names though. But then it seemed like I don't know if he honestly felt a certain way about my short stories or he pretended to fake flatter me. And then he's like, well, you didn't have any zeal towards me about my short stories or whatever, something he said. And I said, well, you never even offered to show me. And he said, well, the artwork that he does. He said, well, I was afraid that you would have thought that the artwork I did was demonic or whatever. And I'm like, oh, you can I thought to myself, oh, you can have your fears and suspicions, but I can't be afraid of nobody. But it seemed like he just started really fucking tripping. He started really tripping and going off. And I don't want to say too much, but I know he said he had like a personal family issue going on. And so I mean, I understand if he might have been affected by that. But it seemed like the other two females that both of those girls ended up perping me. And I had to cut them off. And I even showed him what they did to me, And so then he falsely assumed that I was doing witchcraft on him or perping him and stuff like that. And then he tried to tell me last year, the day after I got wrongfully fired from Sky Zone, he tried to compare me to his wife. And I said, well, are you saying that I'm doing witchcraft or manipulating? He said, well, no, I understand it's different with you. Like as if he was scared of me, Oh, no, I understand it's different in your case. But, for him to keep lying throughout, like me asking, he would lie and say, oh, no, it's not you that's the problem. But kind of find out not, and that's what other covert narcs, if they pretend to be fake nice and then pull away from me and then, keep lying and say, oh, you ain't no problem. Everything's fine. And then later on, they just regurgitate like every issue they've had with me and trying to tell me off about myself. And the most devastating thing is when people have done it in the past towards me. And after, it's like they pretend to be fake nice and smile in my face. And after they took my money and took advantage of me, and then they pick an argument with an excuse to justify not having to pay me back. And then mental health counselors will blame me and stuff. And so then he didn't take any money from me or use or take advantage of me or nothing like that. But I'm just saying, like, if you pull away from me and now your whole narrative has switched about me, and it's a shock when they tell you off about yourself after holding everything in for a while, but then pretending like as if everything's fine and dandy and good and nice and everything. But I wanted to say that I would have never wanted to hurt him. And I never had any agenda to hurt him. And I thought I looked up to him like a brother. And we both, shared certain things with each other, but then again, it seemed like as if he stopped being interested in hearing me talk about my targeting, or like as if he just didn't want to hear it, like he was annoyed and disgusted with me. And And he even threw in my face this past Friday, oh, because I sat there and talked on the phone with you for hours. Well, you used to call me up and check up on me, and we used to be, in the beginning, we used to talk on the phone for hours, like, every day, and so then, like, he tried to make like as if everybody was against him, and then he yelled at me and said, and you were probably the benediction in all of this, and stuff like that, trying to tell me I was probably the benediction and all that. And so then, he confronted me about the videos. And another thing, when it seemed like he was taking advantage of perping me in one of his videos that he did earlier this year. And he was talking about, his twin brother, and he was deliberately smacking his gum as loud as he could, taking advantage of that. And I felt like that was perping me. And so, and so then he was talking in the video, and he said something about, yeah, I have this thing called loyalty. And so then he said, well, I'm not going to sit up here like another T.I. and talk bad about my family members or whatever, because he said his twin brother perps him. So when I confronted him about that, he acted like, oh, I didn't know, he acted like he didn't know what I was talking about. And like he had no idea what I was talking about. And so he said, well, I talked to a whole lot of other TIs, not just you. But wait a minute, rewind it back. Even as far back as November and December last year, he told me that I was the only one he was talking to on the phone. And that he doesn't really mainly talk to anybody else on the phone. So he didn't even come clean and tell me that he did certain videos about me. And it's like, and then he took a jab at me one time with talking about these fake ass TIs with this long ass videos. And what he said in one of his videos, and so I'm like, wait a minute, he just called me a few minutes ago and then said in his video talking about, oh, I was trying to return his call, not knowing that he was working on a video and was going to call me back later. And he was mad at something about his family member saying that they were trying to sacrifice him and stuff like that, But he told me, like, a couple of months before that, oh, your videos are too long. But I didn't realize he secretly unsubscribed from my YouTube videos. But the other two girls, one of them was he still was watching her videos and then showed me some of her videos. But he pulled away from watching my videos, and he didn't really tell me why, But at first he was telling me a lot of the times, he was saying, you are chosen, you are chosen, you are chosen, and giving a lot of comments and support, like as if he was love bombing me. And then eventually, after I got emotionally, I guess, hooked, then it seemed like he started to pull away the rug of support and started manipulating the friendship and wasn't all the way honest towards me, And I did before then, I never did anything to him. But he told me last December that if anything bad happened to him, he begged me to not let the mainstream he begged me to promise him to not let the mainstream media believe that he was just some crazy nut if anything would have happened to him. And so, and he always would repeatedly throw in my face, well, I don't put people out on the internet. I don't tell people's business on the internet, or I don't air out people's dirty laundry, or I don't throw people under the bus and stuff. He kept repeatedly saying that, so then he came out and confronted me last week, about, saying that I threw him under the bus. But, if you turned away from me like that and acted like you tired of hearing me talking about my targeting, but, I listened to you too. It was both ways. It wasn't one-sided. But, but it's like he tried to bully and shame me into an apology and make me defenseless and scared, and about doing videos about him. That's like, well, if you did me dirty, you did me dirty, damn it. and other people have told me that he sounded like a compromised perp. Or it sounds like they say if somebody hang up in your face like that randomly, oh, that sounds like something a perp would do. And so then he because it's like I have my phone hands free when I'm talking on the phone with people, and I use my earbuds, so I don't even touch my phone. And the phone, it's like the perps will playing like a 3-year-old and play on the phone, and or they're listening and you hear clicks on the phone, or they'll do stuff like mute the phone on my end without me even realizing, because I'm not even looking at my screen. And so he thought that I was playing on the phone or playing games with him and stuff, or that I was perping him. And I'm like, wow, the perp sure are having a field day with two TIs arguing. He may not be a perp at all, but I'm misunderstanding or trying to understand, I mean, you could tell me your feelings about me and not, you don't have to yell or be angry and stuff, because it's like I never would have wanted to hurt him, and I never even really did him anything, except, if he felt like I did him dirty, that I did the video, because I felt betrayed. So I don't understand why he said that the people who attempted murder on him, like he did a video the next day or two talking about how he forgive those people who try to kill him. But he made it like as if I did him the grimiest and the dirtiest to do a video about him after he turned against me and stuff and we quit talking. And so he said, you ought to consider me a rarity of a friend, because most people aren't so forgiving. So it's like, it's like I'm a fellow TI, and I never perped you and never made any money off of you at all, ever. And I don't have any agenda. I never made any money off of anybody. Never been initiated. And so it's like, so it's like, I don't know why he made it like as if it's the dirtiest thing in the world to tell about the way he treated me. And then he said, then he tried to say, he tried to say, play psych games with an attitude and say, I don't know what a narcissistic abuser is. I don't know what a narcissistic abuser is. Like as if I'm talking crazy by calling people a narcissistic abuser. Like as if I have my nerve and should be forbidden to call anybody a narcissistic abuser. And then made it like if it was bullshit for me to call people a fake TI perp. But I even told him how harsh and it seemed like how harsh his words is. That he's very brutal with his words. And so, and he doesn't have any problem with calling a female a bitch. Well, he didn't call me a bitch to my face, but and I'm like, wow. But you call yourself like thinking that you're saved enough to go to heaven. So and he confronted me saying, and what's this what you talking about that I use mixed Pentecostal and Black Hebrew Israelite and stuff like that. I said, well, I didn't say you do. I said it sounds like it. So and he's like, what did you? And he kept on accusing me of doing this and doing that. And then he's like, well, do you think that's fair? Do you think that's fair to me? And so he tried to say, I have to change my way around just to appease you. And so, I mean, it's like I couldn't even believe that he went off on me like that this past Friday. So it's like I have him marked as a narc in my book. And it's like I no longer even feel the excitement to talk to him anymore. So, I mean, and then, like, last year, when I was being bullied online, he straight up told me that he was not going to sit up here and, defend me against the perps, And he's the type of person who would do victim blaming and be like, well, you brought it on yourself or whatever. So it's like, He got all the traits of a narcissistic abuser. And I'm not going to let him sit up here and make me feel like I'm not allowed to expose people as a narcissistic abuser. And then he tries to say, well, did you feel like I was gaslighting you in this conversation? Did you feel like I was gaslighting you? And I was scared, and I was like, no, like a defenseless little child, defenseless, speechless little child. And it's like how somebody 8 years younger than me had that much power over me. And he thinks that if he blocked you on social media, then that's supposed to mean that, oh, you're blocked, meaning you're punished. You're in timeout. But if I block somebody, I'd be like, well, I'm blocked because I'm just hurt and can't deal with, what you did to me, So, but it seemed like the way he treated me this past Friday, it's like replaying in my head over and over again. And like he stayed by this lady's house, and he told me about her. Like he complained to me just about every day about her, but then it seemed like he didn't cut her off, or he seemed like he was still merciful and forgiving towards her. He didn't, and he was still meeting up with her almost every day. And then he said she was trying to set him up, but he didn't tell her off, and he didn't block her like immediately. So it's like I don't know why he got the strongest, like as if he's scapegoating me and got like the strongest attack towards me. And he pretended to care in the beginning, and now he's showing his true colors. He really brought it to the forefront about, how he really felt about me. And then about my short stories and stuff, it seemed like as if, I don't know if that was genuine, or if he pretended to fake love bomb me, or pretend to fake flatter me, or if those were genuine, about him telling me about my writing and stuff. But sometimes he would act like he wasn't interested or got an attitude with me if I try to show him, but, he didn't, like, I never even knew he did abstract art. He never once told me. So how can he say, well, you didn't have so much zeal about me, my writing? And I'm like, well, how was I supposed to, you never told me, But he told me he was working on some short story or whatever, but he encouraged me to continue writing my short stories because I was going to quit writing them. So, I just can't believe this. That I feel like I can't just be so trusting of him anymore. Because I never really did him dirty. I just talked about the way him and the other girl, the way they treated me last year. And I was mad enough that, I mentioned their doggone names. And he, so he tried to make it like as if he wanted me to learn my lesson from ever making a video about him again. But how the hell I know I curse too, and I feel like I ain't fit for heaven. But if you curse like a sailor and still think you're, suitable for heaven, and basically, it seems like as if he's a know-it-all, like he got expert knowledge in everything, and so it seemed like as if he didn't care about me being emotionally sensitive or nothing, and it seemed like as if he used my trauma as as I said, like another Lisa Ruby and Tracy Broadhurst, like as if. And it's like I refuse to feel traumatized by somebody that's that much younger than me. Manipulated, traumatized, and abused. And it feels just as bad as being raped. And so, he was gaslighting me last Friday. But it's like I was like blinded and didn't realize until after the tell-off conversation of him like trying to bully, harass, and lecture me and trying to tell me off about myself and trying to discipline and handle me and trying to act like he wants to verbally chastise me like a child. And I told him, like, he refused to accept me telling him to over the phone that you know brutal with your words and you're very hostile and got a temper and everything.